cruising down the street in my 6'4". Just like that, somebody turned off the rain and the sun come out.
I'm your huckleberry.
Hey everybody, you don't know me, but I'm on TV, so you can trust me. Welcome to the This is Tampa podcast with
Rob.
And I'm Jen, and we have some special guests here today. Rob, would you like to do the honors?
Well, I will introduce my mother. Gina Connor she surprise visited me, and I figured I'd take the opportunity to have her on the podcast because, you know, this probably be the only opportunity, so there she is. And yeah, and our regularly scheduled guest. So we got an unscheduled and a scheduled.
We got a surprise guest. And then we've got Scott Kohler here. He's with PrimeNet, which is a direct marketing company in the Largo area, which is over in Pinellas County. So he's going to be talking to us a little bit about his business and what they offer. And then, you know, just about Tampa, Pinellas, Manatee, all those fun counties. Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, let's get started here. Scott, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your company.
Well, the company I work for is called PrimeNet Direct Marketing. I'm the business development executive there. I've been working there for 3 years. My past experience was I worked for an ad agency out of Chicago, so that's how I became familiar with PrimeNet. They were our primary printer, and so I had the opportunity to take a job at PrimeNet, and I jumped on board, and so it's been a great experience ever since. I have a family. I moved my family down here. I have a wife and 2 kids. I have a 6-week-old.
Wow.
And a 3-year-old. And we shared the names here a little bit earlier, but my daughter's name is Sawyer, which is...
Yes, and I've got a Sawyer too, but he's a boy.
Yeah, correct. So we have a girl and a boy. And then also my boy's name is Sutton. So, and he is a ball of joy right now, 6 weeks, and he's big. Yeah, he was born at 9'5".
Wow.
So yes.
That is a big baby.
Yeah, he was big. So I think he's pushing 12 right now. So he's growing fast.
Oh my gosh, at 6 weeks old.
So food goes down fast and formula helps.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it sure does.
It's expensive, I
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Been there, done that, man. Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, so we're
my
exciting.
gosh.
A lot of tired, but coffee does wonders for you. So yeah, so I handle a lot of coffee every day. And
There you go.
Stay up late at night doing some rocking. My wife handles most of that though,
Yes.
so we're pretty good.
She's the real superhero.
She is, yeah. If I didn't have my wife, man, I don't know what I would do.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, you just earned some points.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's the truth though. Yeah,
Yes.
she does everything when it comes to staying up late right now because she's on maternity leave and I'm working. So obviously it might change a little bit in a couple weeks, but right now at least I can get some sleep at night because he's been up percentually lots of nights.
Oh man, baby boys, they're a handful.
Yeah, second one's not like the first one.
No. You get your trick baby, and then you get the.
Absolutely.
Boys are easy, right, Ma?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I was so easy.
Oh, he was the best baby ever.
Oh,
he was.
Talk about Props, I think you're getting a little red.
I was cool. I was cool then, you know, even cooler now. So
There you go. Aw. Well, you did a good job raising him.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I'm proud of him.
Aww. Yes, very hard worker over here. So.
yeah, working hard.
Yeah. Well, so tell us a little bit about like what your company does and what type of services you all offer there at PrimeNet.
We've been around for 50 years.
Wow.
So we are a direct mail company. We're one of the top 10 Florida-based national printers.
Wow.
So we do predominantly we do about 5 million pieces of direct mail a month. And those are for lots of different companies. We work with like ad agencies, Fortune 500 companies, franchises, and also I call them mom and pops because you know everybody's got to start someplace, and it's like you need to advertise and get your name out there.
Right.
With digital marketing, I tell people to do all forms of marketing, but direct mail is really a good way to get your name out and target your audience that you want to hit. So I've worked with companies that start off with maybe 1 or 2 shops, and now they have 20 locations in Oklahoma, and so sometimes starting off with the new ones are sometimes the most enjoyable because of how fast they sometimes grow. So you get to grow with them. And so that's one of the things that I really enjoy about my job is the fact that you can take a business and see your success with them, and then you see them maybe add another store and the next thing you know, they're like, "Wow, you got 20 stores. Like you did, you know, how can we help you now?" You know, so you
now you need more.
You need to hire some more people. So but we have the ability to obviously produce a lot of mail. We have a large business. I would say it's probably almost about the size of a football field with equipment.
Wow.
So we have everything from what we call offset presses to digital presses. We do things like for letters to postcards. It's what we call self-mailers. And also, you know, we work with automotive companies that want keys and scratch-offs and those type of things on the mailers as well.
Cool.
Post-it notes. So we do a lot of that. And then one of the things that I always stress is when we work with clients that I think one of the things that we're really good at is actually providing them a target marketing list to make sure that they're mailing to the right audience. Because one of the things that I hate seeing people do is all of a sudden just throw a bunch of mail out and saying, hey, but let's say you're trying to sell to, like, let's say it's a dentist office. Well, maybe you should be targeting people like the female of the household probably makes the decisions. So sometimes maybe you should be mailing to the female of the household, looking for them that have kids. Because they're looking for possibly, you know, a dentist or new move-ins. Target people that have just moved in because they don't have one.
They don't have one.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
smart.
I always say, like, you know, one of the things I recommend is always, you know, consulting us regarding maybe the targeted marketing list is the best approach for you. And some people, they want to do the saturation where they want to send out maybe the menu or whatever it is to everybody in the area because it's a restaurant. But, you know, if you have, you know, a certain budget that you want to stick to, I always say give it your best shot first. You know, spend your money and then put your eggs in that basket and then target them.
So do you only do like
direct mail?
Direct mail. Do you do any like virtual? I mean, are you getting in that space where?
Well, we do fulfillment too.
Marketing.
And fulfillment means that jobs that maybe don't need to be mailed, but they actually are jobs that need to be just printed and then maybe for like something that would have to go into office for handouts, or they have a lot of corporations across the United States and they need certain packets that need to go to them as well. One of the most interesting jobs that we're working on right now with it's an individual that actually does work with Amazon, and she actually has a product that we print for her that she puts out for Amazon. So we print them and fulfill them for her, and then we could ship them for her, but she actually has her own shipping company that comes and picks them up, and then they distribute it to Amazon. And I'm not really familiar with how Amazon works, but like for their Prime delivery, they like to have it like certain prices across the country because if somebody wanted to order it today, and they're Prime, obviously they want to get it to them as fast as possible. So that's what we consider like a fulfillment job.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really neat though, seeing her, we take her art, and then we print it for her.
Wow.
Do you offer art services? Like if somebody comes to you and they don't know,
We have full creative services. Actually, you talked with one of our artists, Amanda. We have an awesome team of artists back there. So people who are starting up companies that might not have that marketing department yet, where they need that creative aspect, we offer that for them. So we offer it usually within our services too. So we're not going to charge more for it if you're going to be doing that service with us when it comes to the print. So obviously, if you were to take it someplace else, there would be some creative charges. But yeah, as long as you're printing with us, we'll offer you that service for no charge.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. Hey, Mark, can you get a little closer to Scott here because I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure if you're in the camera.
I don't mind.
Yeah, gotta get you in
There's
here.
2 cameras, so make sure you're in both.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's good. Do you ever see yourself? How do you source clients?
That's interesting. A lot of the sourcing that I'm doing right now, actually, to find new clients is LinkedIn. To try to go out there and search for clients that are maybe interested in our services. But we do promote ourselves. We have Facebook, Twitter, our website, which is PrimeNet.com. We also do Instagram. We're trying to put ourselves all over social media right now, basically, to advertise and promote ourselves. Fortunately, a lot of the clients that are looking for a direct mail might do a search, and Google Ads will pop up in Google Ads, and they'll find us that way. So they'll call me, and then I'll give them a quote or let them know what services we can provide for them.
I assume you use direct mailing too. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, that would probably be your cheapest.
I recommend all forms of marketing. So one thing that people always say is like, "Oh, you do direct mail. What do you think of digital marketing?" I'm like, "Well, I think digital marketing is great. I think putting yourself on TV or newspaper is great, or radio, or whatever you can afford to do, because all forms of marketing channel response.
Right.
So the key to marketing is always driving people into your office, whether I might receive a direct mail ad, but somebody might respond better off of a digital marketing ad, or somebody might respond better off of a billboard.
Right.
It's everybody, you know, if you say all your clients are exactly the same, and that'd be like all the customers are exactly the same, nobody responds off the same, you know,
Right.
everybody likes different food, everybody likes different forms of marketing.
Yeah.
So I recommend, if you can do it all, don't put your all eggs in one basket. I would say, hey, do a digital campaign with a direct mail campaign.
Right.
Do a TV ad if you can do TV. Do one thing that's really cool that the U.S. Postal Office is offering right now is, I don't know if you're familiar with informed delivery.
I think so.
You can go on the U.S. Postal Service website right now and you can sign up where when the mail that's being delivered in your house that day, you actually get an email sent to you.
Oh.
And so
yeah.
you can look in your mailbox before the mail comes.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's been going on for a while now.
Oh,
yeah.
do you get that in
Has
New
it?
York too?
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all across the
You
United
just
States.
look it up and you know what's coming. If it's not there when you get home, you know what's missing.
No.
No, I think he's talking about something different.
No,
Really?
no,
It's the
it's
same thing?
exactly what she said.
Wow.
If let's say you lost your credit card and you're waiting for that credit card to come in the mail, and let's say you have to go on vacation,
Yeah.
and so you don't want to leave that credit card sitting in there, for
Right.
instance, that you know it's coming.
Yeah.
So I know people with theft and things like that obviously get nervous about maybe
Yeah.
who somebody took their mail. Well, you can actually get the email that has all your mail that came in there, and you'll be able to see that credit card came in the mail from whatever
Oh.
company you did.
That is so cool.
But this goes beyond tracking.
Beyond that is
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that companies now, let's say you got a coupon offer in the mail of, let's say, Bed Bath & Beyond. You didn't get your mail, but you're out shopping and realize that you got an offer from Bed Bath & Beyond in the mail. Well, you can take that because it's interactive now, and you can click on that ad, and it'll open up that offer, so then you can go into the store and use that offer.
No.
So, and I
my
think last year
gosh.
there was only about 9 million people across the United States that had signed up.
Yeah.
I just went to a meeting 2 weeks ago, and they said there's over 19 million people that have signed up for it now.
Holy cow.
And one of the organizations that we don't work with, but it's a non-profit that's out there that actually gave a stat on how much informed deliveries increased their response on getting money. It was like a 43% increase
No.
in revenue for them. So,
Wow.
and it was actually, I believe it was PETA. So,
Oh my
because they're
gosh.
non-profit trying to get information out there.
Right,
So
yeah.
they said they actually received like a 43% increase in response from having the informed
Wow.
delivery.
So you can click on it and it shows you what the piece of
You
mail
open up
is,
your
or-
mailbox, so the email comes in, and then in the email will state like you got, it'll have images of your mail pieces.
Oh, it does?
So
Oh
it
my
has like a
gosh,
scanned
I
image
didn't
of
know
what the
this.
envelope was. And
Right.
so,
Okay, but now what's inside it's just like the envelope. You'll see like an
correct.
image of the
But
envelope.
they've taken it one step farther where, let's say it's an offer, they actually has a link where you can click on the link and then it opens up and actually gives
That
you
is
the offer.
so
But that would be
cool.
like the company sending it would be participating in
Correct.
that program some way, shape, or form.
They have,
$100
like some of the
something.
automotive dealers, I believe, have done it where they actually make it where it's like their car ad is on there as well. So, so you got an auto piece, let's say XYZ dealership is doing a promotion that week, and they're selling, let's say, a Ford Mustang. You might see like the Ford Mustang ad or whatever like that.
Wow.
So it has a driving, you know how they have some really cool commercials.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, the car
So
commercials.
that was one thing that I think is really going to help the future of direct mail, where you have the opportunity to not
Right.
only get it in the mailbox, but you're also going to receive an email with your, you know, and people have to sign up for it, obviously, but it's
Yeah.
free. You don't, it doesn't cost you anything to get informed
Right.
delivery.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Wow, how did neither of us know about this?
I know. Like,
How
Oh,
do you
it's,
do
it's been up in New York for quite a
How
while.
am I
I
just
think,
now
I
hearing
think
about
one of the
it.
hard things is the post office really doesn't promote it.
No, they don't.
But they did some big ads, I think, around the Super Bowl where they actually
Yeah.
did it. But like, you know how it is people are having their
Yeah.
own social conversations
Right,
going
they're
on.
not
and
really paying
You're not
attention.
paying attention, and with now
Yeah.
with the way that you can scan through some email or some ads, you might not
Right.
even seen it. So, yeah.
Exactly.
You know, that's interesting because, like, you know, to be honest, that's one of the things, you know, because I always choose where am I going to do my marketing? Am I going to do it online, digitally, or am I going to, you know, spend money on mailers or whatever? But if you're getting you're almost getting a 2-for-1 deal.
You do. Now, the downfall is right now there's only 19 million people sign up for it.
Yeah.
But the positive thing is it's growing. So to get ahead of the curve, obviously I recommend, this is something the future is going to bring to you where, you know, it's not digital from the aspect, you're not getting the banner ads that pop up on your computer,
Yeah.
and you're not getting maybe the text message or whatever sent
It's
to
in
you.
your mail.
But it's still going in your email box.
Right.
You're going to get it every day that the U.S. Postal Service delivers.
Ah.
And it comes to you, I'm going to guess it's around 10 o'clock in the morning. or before your mail is delivered. So it's done early enough where before you get your mail out of your mailbox, it's actually going to be in there. So
oh my gosh,
get a preview.
Yeah,
it is.
Your mail for the day.
It is. My wife uses it actually, and I have it. And it's
she?
like, but she's the one that's obviously usually home before I am.
Yeah.
So she's looking at it before I am. But it's really cool. I like it a lot, especially. I think it's also the situation of like for security, you know what's coming in your mailbox too.
Yeah, I'd be like, let's see, am I gonna check the mail today or not?
Yeah.
Like, is it even worth walking out
it
to the
worth the
mailbox?
walk?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Or getting
my
a check
gosh.
for in your name and you don't want your wife or your husband.
Or it's just
to
more-
see it.
there
You
you
just
go.
yeah.
put out
Wait,
the first
think
and
there.
Or it's just more bills, and you're like, forget it.
It's kind of it's kind of like Amazon though. They give you that notice before when your package arrives.
Yeah.
It's just like the U.S.
yeah.
Postal Service. Hey, your mail has arrived. Maybe there's something in there that you really want to take advantage of.
Yeah, that is so crazy. Wow, it's just like changing so much with the times, but
Yeah.
that's interesting. So, what type of clients do you typically work with? Is it a lot of like auto dealerships?
We work with agencies, which predominantly have that fall into the realm of maybe the dealerships because they're going through the agency first.
Okay.
Fortune 500 companies that we work with, everything from financial to restaurants to like also the franchises. It could be as an insurance agency. It could be a realtor.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of different companies out there that use direct mail for a lot of, like I said, the target marketing approach or maybe the saturation approach, where they're just seeing it every tout the whole area. But yeah, there's not any limitations. I don't think to anybody that can't use direct mail.
Okay.
We do B2B and we do B2C.
Oh, okay.
So on the B2B list, obviously we can pull a list of doctors if you want.
Right.
So if you want to mail to doctors' offices, we've had somebody who did equipment that was for sterilizing for a dentist's office, and he had like a catalog that went out, and so we mailed out his catalog across the United States to different offices because he sold equipment for that.
To different offices. Okay,
Yep.
got it.
We
And
know-
even like a small mom and pop, like a restaurant or for example, a realtor can contact you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And we provide that service for them, and I give them recommendations. We run what we call a count. So if there's a certain territory that you cover, I can show you what's available.
Okay.
And then we also keep track of your data in-house as well. So if you're targeting certain areas, you don't want to do the whole area at once. If you want to target multiple areas, we'll keep track of everybody that you mailed in those areas.
Oh,
and then
cool.
anybody that we didn't hit yet, we can go back and hit them at a later time.
Oh, that's a
So
good idea.
you don't have to mail the same people twice because
Right.
if you have 20,000 people, but your budget only allows you to mail maybe 5,000,
Right.
we'll hit 5,000, but then save the other 15,000 for a later date.
For the next time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know it can get a little expensive, but
Yeah, I mean everybody's got a budget.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Okay,
one
that's
thing
good.
that
You
we
can work
tried.
with multiple budgets. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and different, there could be somebody wants to do a postcard and a letter or different size postcards. I mean, there's different varieties that you can do to get your name out there. Most of the clients I work with do 6x9, 6x11s because they're a little bit larger.
Yeah.
And that's for Postal Service regulations. That's the size the largest size you can mail is a 6x11.
Okay.
Besides going to a flat, but then the postage increases.
Yeah.
But one thing nice about using us is we get a discount from the U.S. Postal Service.
Oh, that's
So you're
nice.
not paying that full rate.
Oh, you pass on the discount.
We
to
pass
them.
on the discount for the
Good.
clients, so
That's
we don't
awesome.
have to, it's a discount that we're getting, and obviously we want people to do marketing with us and to promote
Right.
their business. And if we can save them anywhere on what costs the postage, that's huge, because actually postage is usually one of the most expensive part of the whole
Yeah,
mail.
it is. It's so
Yeah.
expensive. I
So,
remember.
quick question:
go
when you
ahead.
get those big ones, like
Yep.
Billy Facillo, it's
Yep.
his huge flyers or whatever,
huge, yeah.
the Kia, or any other dealership I've had, huge ones. Those go beyond the 6x11. Those things are
They do.
gigantic.
One thing nice that we do get a discount on is we call he's mailing probably a saturation list. And so saturation means that he's taking a whole carrier route, U.S. Postal Service routes, and he's mailing everybody on the route. So U.S. Postal Service also gives us a discount. He's obviously mailing those huge mailers, but he's mailing everybody within, let's say, a 3-mile radius, and every carrier route within that 3-mile radius. We're getting a pass on discounted rate for that as well.
Oh, that's
so he
nice.
can send out
Okay.
those big flat pieces. obviously they're still a little more expensive, but since he's doing a saturation mailing, it is a little bit cheaper for him that way. He might not be doing what we call the targeted approach.
Yeah.
And for auto, you can get away with that when you're sending out those big pieces. There's a lot of automobile dealerships though that are clients of ours that we work with that do the targeting list, where they only want people certain make and model of people's cars that are 10 years old, because let's say they're driving a 10-year-old Honda Civic and they want a list of people out there that have Honda Civics from 2007.
Oh my gosh.
Because
you can do that. You can find out what people are driving what car and their address.
You can.
Holy cow.
So it pulls.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't
Oh my
it?
gosh.
So it's called a black book list. So it gives the value of their car. So the estimated value. So it's all black book based. And then on that also gives you the make of car that they're driving. So if they're looking for people that drive Honda Civics, because people who sell Hondas might want to target somebody for a newer model Honda Civic, so they're going after those because that's the car that they're interested in the past.
Oh my gosh, how crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you could
So
do that.
Billy Facillo knows some stuff about this.
Billy Facillo knows a lot of stuff.
He knows.
Oh my
He's got a
gosh.
guy. He's got some people.
I
lots of
believe,
guys.
I will say this, I'm not saying that we don't market for Billy Facillo, but I will say one thing, that he probably is a marketing genius.
Yeah.
He's on everything. You'll see him on radio, you'll see him on TV, you'll see him everywhere. So,
He's
he
huge.
does it right. I mean, he does it right. If you have the budget that Billy Facillo has, I obviously go out there and spend the money because he's bringing in
It
the
pays
clients.
back in
Yeah,
tenfold,
he's giving everybody a 70-inch TV right now. We're buying
Cruises.
any
I
Kia.
know, crazy.
Yeah, he does the cruise, the huge cruise or whatever it's called.
Wow.
So.
Oh my gosh, wow. So if someone wants to create a piece of mail or some advertising, marketing, whatever, and they don't know what they want, you have artists in-house that can create.
That's correct. Yeah, we offer that full creative service for them. So, and sometimes actually someone who's never done a mailing with the U.S. Postal Service before, they have certain regulations that you follow. So you can't be within certain areas because you have to put the indicia for the stamp, or you have to do the addressing. Well, there's certain boxes in certain areas you have to fit that. Well, which is nice about using one of our artists is because they'll make sure they fit in those criteria, because we want to make sure it goes to the mail and gets used.
Right.
Because the Postal Service doesn't pass regulations, they can just throw it out.
Oh my gosh, yes. If you're trying to do it on Vistaprint or something, you might waste a bunch of time and money.
And we've had people who are really good artists, and they design an awesome looking mail piece, but then all of a sudden they give it to us and we have to make some slight adjustments because I mean, it's usually just slight tweaks here and there. It's because you just got to fit certain areas for their, the barcode to be put in, and then the addressing to be put, and then those are things they don't know about. So that's one thing nice about using our team, because they'll make sure it's done right.
Right. You want to make sure it goes through the mail. That's amazing.
And we have lots of experience back there with lots of different companies. So we pass, if you're looking to do a restaurant, we have tons of ideas, obviously, when it comes to like promoting your restaurant, or realtors, or just the fact that anything that, with all the experience that we have back there, there's probably something there's always something that we haven't done, but we at least know that what works.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, that's good.
So you don't just work with, big mailings. You can work with people that just want to send out several hundred, or
usually the good size for us, and I'm just saying this overall, is like if you can get around 1,000 postcards at least. And we'll do larger than that, but usually your best bang for your dollar is if you can at least do 1,000, because after a certain point when you're printing, like the setup fee is almost as equivalent to like what it costs to do the print itself. So I always recommend, like, if we can find 1,000, like I've worked with dog groomers before. They send out like a postcard, and they have certain punches on there where if you, on your 7th visit, you get something for free. So like a mom and pop like that, like if you have a certain 2 or 3 mile radius that you only want to market to, at least we'll find the 1,000 names that you're looking for. So, and that's what I would recommend somebody doing, is like, hey, and also, I mean, there's a certain aspect of it as well, as like, anytime you can do marketing, we're always going to give you your best bang for your dollar at a certain limit, but also, if you're doing less than 1,000, sometimes you're spinning your wheels. Like it's like, I'm not saying you're not wasting your money, but like it's definitely something that like you need to at least stay over a certain level, because if you're expecting a return on your investment, you got to at least give it a good shot. So
it's got to be worth all the money and time.
Exactly. So much as you're spending on basically for postage, and then what it would cost to meet that extra couple pieces to get out to get to 1,000, do the 1,000. If you can. I mean, obviously I'm for print, but the more the merrier. But like, there's also a standpoint where everybody's got a budget, and you got to stay within their budget. But like I said, my clients and experience, you got to stay at least above 1,000.
Right, you're gonna get your best bang for your buck.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And once you set that up in your system, they can just go back and order from that.
There's no more
We
setup
do-
fees or.
No,
Yeah.
you can call me, but what we do for all of our clients, we set them up with an account manager. So after I'm an initial salesman that would go through and actually, take your order and pass it on. And, I try to create new business. That's my job at PrimeNet, is so bring in new business. But everybody that gets to work with us, they get their own account manager so that you can always call them.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will stress about PrimeNet, because this is from my past experience, working with an ad agency from Chicago, we worked with different printers. The one reason why PrimeNet was my favorite printer to work with, and I'm saying this from a standpoint of I wasn't wasn't an employee of PrimeNet at the time, was the fact that I got excellent customer service.
Oh, that's
There's always
important.
somebody to call. You didn't have to go on and email somebody or go on a website and try to communicate with somebody. There's always somebody that you can talk to. They make it as easy as possible to do business. Our turn times, majority of the times for most of our clients, we try to turn things in 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
So from the time that you give us approval, we get it printed in 48 hours and out the door.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So, those last minute orders, we try to accommodate all that for our clients.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that when I didn't work for PrimeNet, it was one thing that I appreciated, the fact that we had somebody we could talk to.
Right.
They would always work with us on turn time. So if we needed something we called hot,
Yeah.
they got out the door for us. And, I feel like they just went the extra effort. And
Right.
that's what we tried to provide at PrimeNet, and that's what I try to provide, is
Right.
making sure that we go out and give the extra effort, because I don't like it when I wasn't getting extra effort from other printers.
Yeah.
Because when you get something good, it's like, why would you want to use anybody else?
Yeah, it sets you apart. Good customer service makes such a difference.
So, and I mean, it probably goes the same thing when you're selling a house. When you get good servants,
It works the same way with everything. I just don't understand how some companies just don't get it.
yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate being on the side of PrimeNet now, because I was on the agency side where I was supplying it for a client. The one thing that you appreciate now that I work with clients is I didn't see all the nitty gritty work that goes behind the scenes to try to turn a job. And those are things that people don't see, and that's what the agencies don't care about, and they shouldn't, because we're doing that for them because we want to do the job right for the client. So we do the nitty gritty for them to make sure that we're getting their job done on time, because a lot of the stuff that we do mail is time sensitive.
Yeah, that's true.
You need it in homes in a week. Well, where are you going? Well, we need to go to California. Well, we know it's a 5-day ship to there, so it's like, oh, we need to start doing this now. So,
oh, that's awesome.
I mean, locally it's a lot easier, but we do from Florida to California to New York. I mean, so we do all across the United States. So there's a lot of
places.
to go.
Yeah. Customer service goes a long way.
It really
Yeah,
does,
and so I appreciate good customer service because I like to give it, but I also like when I receive it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling us more about your company and everything you all offer. We'll make sure we put your contact information in the video on Facebook and YouTube.
There's one more thing I'd like to say too.
go
I don't want
ahead.
to cut you off.
No, go
We
ahead.
do have 3 certifications at PrimeNet.
Okay.
We are what we call a G7 certified printer.
Oh.
So a lot of the clients that we work with, they give us proofs, and we have to match the exact color palette that's to their logo, to their image. And so we have that certification. So we have equipment out there that can make whatever proof to print look exactly the same.
Wow.
We also what we call U.S. Postal Service Seamless, which means that we can get your mail in the mailboxes faster through that seamless process.
Oh, cool.
So since we work with the U.S. Postal Service on that, we have that certification. And then we also are what we call a SOC 2 certified organization.
Wow.
And that means that if you have any, for like financial institutions, they might have some privatized information that they don't want to share, like client's financial status. Any of that data that you give to us to print on the mailers are always kept secure, where they don't go and are, they're cyber secure. So we're not penetrated by somebody to steal their information.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And those are 3 things that we're very proud of.
Yeah, they probably set you apart from a lot of the other companies.
They do, and then it just makes people feel good that they're secure with when they're giving us their information too, because there is a lot of information out there that is private.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Well,
well,
cool.
you guys know what car I drive, so
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, well, thank you so much. That is such interesting information.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed talking with you guys and sharing our company.
So well, now I'm going to put you through a little lightning round.
Now we get to the fun part.
Here we go.
Well, I get shocked.
Prepare
Now we get to
yourself.
the fun
I hope I don't get shocked.
That's
Oh
true.
my gosh. Well, so I
why we
know
put
you're
you in that
from
chair.
Chicago, so hopefully Hopefully you'll be able to answer most of these, but we'll see. We'll see how far we get here.
Well, he's a Floridian now. What,
Well, you're
3 years?
Floridian now.
Floridian, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you've got a couple years, so you're good then.
Okay.
All right, Bucks, Lightning, or Rays?
Rays.
Okay. St. Pete or Tampa?
St. Pete.
Ooh, okay.
And I only say that is because I've had more time to spend there.
Okay.
Not because I have anything,
Yeah.
like I said before, I think I told you this, I've done the Lowry Park Zoo. I think it's a wonderful zoo. I
Right.
think Tampa has a wonderful thing.
There's
I
so
haven't
much
even done
to
the
do.
aquarium yet, but we really want to do that with my family.
Yeah.
So it's like we're actually parked right by it right now. It's like I really want to do
You
it.
can go over there.
Yeah.
Just call. Oh, they're in Chicago right now. That might not work. All right, so I'm gonna switch these up because a lot of these are about Tampa, but I know you live in Ellington.
Correct.
So I'm gonna just give you a category, and you can just do it anywhere from Manatee to Hillsborough to Pinellas.
Wherever my experience has been.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, favorite pizza place.
Favorite, I will go with Dimitrio's, and that's in
Ooh.
Bradenton.
Okay, Dimitrio's. Interesting. Favorite steak place.
Favorite steak place? Fleming's?
Fleming. Ooh, that's a good. We haven't had that one before.
Yeah, Fleming's. We're good
Okay.
about Fleming's.
If I can say in Chicago, it'd
Yeah.
be Morton's.
Yeah,
Oh,
Morton's-
I've been there before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my
We'll give them
favorite.
a shout out.
Yeah, we
They have
will.
Morton's down here, I think.
Oh, what's that?
Do
I think
they?
they do have a Morton's.
I
down
don't
here.
know about Morton's. Maybe Miami. I know there's also like a Joe's Seafood in Miami too, which is in Chicago. But,
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't
You're
stop
fine.
promoting
No,
wrong
hey,
places.
we like to collaborate.
Yeah.
Favorite dessert spot.
Favorite dessert spot is. God, that's a very good question.
It's a tough one.
Believe it or not, like there's a place called Detweiler's, and it is a
Ooh.
grocery store.
Okay.
But they have Amish ice creams there, and they have an Amish style thing, and that's
Oh, where? What is
it's
it?
called Detweiler's. It's in Ellington. They also have one, I believe, in Setwire.
Okay.
And like they do like fresh produce, like Amish style, like bakery.
Ooh.
They have really good ice cream.
Ooh,
I'm
ice
not-
cream.
yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to try that one. What about favorite Italian restaurant?
Tampa Maggiano's.
Ooh, there we
There you
go.
Yeah.
Maggiano's. We've talked about it.
Been there.
That's
We've
where
got our two
we go
Italians here, so.
a few times.
Favorite charity.
Favorite charity, St. Jude.
Oh, that's a great one. And then favorite podcast.
Yours.
That's what we were going for.
Of course, yours.
Good answer.
gosh, that's a
you
great
can
answer.
complete the rest of the podcast, and we'll actually post it.
That was. I didn't even have to pause on
That
that
was
one.
the easiest one.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for somebody to come along and be
Oh
like,
my
"Oh,
gosh.
Joe Rogan or whatever, something like that,"
Oh,
which is
man.
probably the truth. But
Well, I
whatever.
better ask your mom, Jean, have you had any good Italian restaurants down here while you visited Rob at all?
Marciano's or
Maggiano's.
Marciano's, yeah.
Maggiano's.
Actually, we went to Little Italy. That was good.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
we went
Yeah.
there the last time I was here.
Okay.
That's what started the hellfire. Then you know that ensued after podcast episode
It's
one.
very good.
Since I'm
Yeah.
near the area, what are your favorite pizza places? If I can
Oh,
ask.
you go ahead. I know what
'Cause I
you're
need some
saying.
referrals.
Well, we got a few. Duamici right over here in
Okay.
Ybor, which we'll probably hit up after this podcast, like we did last
I'm ready.
week. That's really good. The pizza that she makes at Little Italy, that's now back
that
on the
was very
menu,
good.
Yeah.
is excellent.
That is so good. That's my favorite.
But it's a different. You might like it because it's like a deep dish style.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a thicker crust. It's not deep
It
dish,
is.
but it's a thicker crust. It's kind of its own
Yeah.
thing.
There's a Chicago pizza place in New Tampa called Full Circle Pizza.
Okay.
And they do like it's like, the 45-minute Chicago style
Yeah.
pizzas. That one's
Like
really good.
Like the
Sicilian
Giordano's
pizza.
or like the what we'd have out of Chicago.
Yes,
where-
yes.
I think there's a Giordano's now actually in
There's an Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah.
But where they put the sauce on top and the cheese is under. Yeah, that's like a traditional like
Yeah.
deep dish
That's
Chicago
a
pizza.
There was
Yeah.
actually one in Brandon, but it closed, I think.
Oh, really?
There was a Giordano's in
I'll give a
in
shout out to
Brandon.
something in Brandon that is Chicago.
Okay.
And that's Portillo's.
Yeah, Portillo's,
Oh, that
the
place
hot
is
dogs
so
and
good.
all
Italian,
that.
Italian beef is the way to go. You got to get a big beef, you got to get it dipped, and you got to get the mozzarella cheese on it.
Oh, this is making me hungry already.
Yeah, here we go.
So I'll sell you on that.
Oh, my
And by the way, there
gosh.
is a Morton's in Orlando.
There is one.
Oh,
Okay.
there is? Oh, funny.
I know they're national based, but there's just not a lot
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
And I believe Morton's is the father of the guy that started Hard Rock Cafe.
Really?
Oh, how
Yeah.
random.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found that out at the Hard Rock.
They have a dessert there that actually it's a flourless cake that you have to order before you eat because it takes them a while to cook it.
Wow.
It is really good. It's
Oh
a
my
chocolate
gosh.
cake that comes out. It's flourless and it's like you cut into it and it oozes. It's like yeah, a little whipped cream on top and like a cherry. Like yeah, it's one of those. And other places make it, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's
Where's that? At the Hard Rock?
No,
Or at
Morton's.
Morton's.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yum. That sounds so
Chocolate
good.
lava cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like a chocolate lava cake. Yeah.
Yum. Cool. All right, so let's move into our non-Florida man story. Did you find anything good this week, Rob?
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, I'm gonna.
Let's see what we can find
They can
here.
actually tell the story for us.
Okay.
I put the mic up here.
Oh, okay. Getting fancy today.
Oh yeah.
I like
We're
this.
gonna hear from the horse's mouth
Yeah.
this week.
I've been listening to your stories. You got some interesting ones.
Yeah, we find some good ones.
Yeah.
All that credit goes to Rob. He's always finding the best interesting ones.
Yeah, here we go. And this is another the thieves of an interesting variety. So
Strange case out of San Jose tonight. A man wants to know who stole his snakes. Brian Gundy teaches about snakes for a living. He gave a presentation at a library in San Jose yesterday when he carried the reptiles to a nearby parking garage. He says he set down a duffel bag with 4 snakes and a lizard inside just for a minute. When he went to pick it up again, it was gone.
So obviously, these people that took this bag from me that was filled with these animals probably doesn't know the first thing about taking care of snakes and lizards. And so my biggest concern is for the safety and well-being of the animals.
Does he have a snake wrapped around his neck?
yes.
Oh my god.
Snake phobia?
Next,
did you hear what
tonight,
he just
3
said?
snakes have been recovered
Imagine the
after
surprise when you
someone
open that
came
bag.
Something to get.
to a pet store.
Did you hear what the
Next,
acre
tonight,
says?
3 snakes have been recovered after someone came.
Wait, he says.
Okay. Next,
It's like okay.
someone came
That was
to a
the
pet store,
anchor.
Talking
PetSmart
about
store,
this.
saying that they found them in a dumpster. Police are looking for the other 2 reptiles.
Oh
And
no.
where was that based out of?
San Jose, California.
Okay.
There you
San
go,
Jose,
California
California.
man now. We haven't had a California man yet.
We've had
That's
some
surprising.
Yeah.
that when I talk to my friends back home, like Chicagoland area, we have a thing that we say it's so Wisconsin, like something that
Oh,
happens.
really?
That's so Wisconsin. And then now we have a thing that I start off. It says so Florida. Like there's a story that you don't believe it, and it's
Yeah.
like that's so Florida.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh. So what is the Wisconsin? Is it like the same theory as Florida?
There's different things like Wisconsin. Like if you go to a parade there, like there's people literally always like it could be 4th of July parade, and the people are lined up on the streets, but they're all drinking beer.
Oh.
Like everybody like has.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but like if you go to Illinois, it's like completely different. You don't see that like at their local parades, but like you go to every small town in like Wisconsin, that's something we'd say that's so Wisconsin.
Oh my god, how
Yeah.
funny.
Hey, so it sounds cool to me. It sounds
Yeah,
good to me.
it's like
Anything with
different,
beer.
like, it's just a different mentality. It's like a different, more laid back, and that would be like a so Wisconsin type thing. Yeah,
You sound like a Wisconsinite when you say that too.
yeah. Well, I'm not that far. It was like I was in northern Illinois.
Oh my god, that is so funny. I love that. Oh my gosh.
So what do you think of that? I mean, stealing the snakes, and I mean, was
That's
he going to get on a plane? You know,
Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
try,
my
try and hijack a plane with a
Right, with
Exotics.
the
just like that
snakes.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Snakes on a plane.
get these. Yeah, snakes. I can't say it with my mother here.
So cute. I know.
Everybody knows what
It's
he says.
reserved. Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
thought they were stealing a bag of cash or something, and they probably hear.
Oh man.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, right. He probably thought maybe tools or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he started running down the road.
Like,
and that's
I'm
why he
not-
got thrown in the dumpster. I mean, he's like, "What the hell is this?"
I'm not super fearful of snakes, but if I was like picking up like the wrong bag and all of a sudden I opened it, I felt like then that would freak me out.
Yeah.
That's a little bit
Oh.
far.
Yeah, you don't expect
Like, I
whatever to be in
occasionally-
there to be even moving. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be like, you know, a nice fluffy puppy or something. It probably scared the hell out of you
Yeah.
because you didn't expect it to move.
Yeah,
But-
that would definitely be like a shock. Well, I would say one thing: whoever stole it obviously probably maybe taught him a lesson.
Yeah,
I hope
maybe.
so.
It's
Yeah.
like those thieves. Have you ever seen they make those contraptions to catch thieves that take the stuff off your front porch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a few YouTube videos where they
They
made
popped and they sprayed him with something.
Yeah, they like
my
glitter bomb them or
gosh.
whatever. Yeah,
Wow.
when they
So
get in
they're
the
trying to
car.
find the guy that stole your
Yeah.
little character on the ground. He's
Yeah.
covered with
This
glitter walking
one-
down the street.
Got glitter all over.
Yeah, just leave
What happened to you?
leave a bag of
That's
snakes in your
genius.
car. You know, you wanna get somebody
Oh my
pretty
God.
good, or put a box of snakes on your front porch.
There you go. We know what Rob's gonna do.
Yeah, right. Give me ideas.
Oh, there you go. Then we'll really have a Florida man story.
Yeah, right.
Is it okay to do a Florida man story about yourself then, if that happens?
A Florida man story about myself.
Yeah, that
there's-
would happen.
There's a lot of stories about myself, but
Oh my God.
you know,
Probably a
they're
lot
not
that he doesn't
necessarily
want me to
Florida
know.
man. You know,
So funny. Oh my gosh. Well, that was a good one, Rob. I
it
liked
was
it.
interesting.
So for our main topic today, I was going to talk a little bit about Pinellas County, or we were going to talk a little bit about Pinellas County, since that's where your company is located, Scott. But since you live in Manatee, and then Rob and I are both in Hillsborough, and Jean is from New York, I figured maybe we can talk a little bit about the entire greater Tampa area, including
Right.
Pasco, Manatee.
Yeah, and
Pinellas,
and actually, it's a good opportunity to talk about it because this is really about the greater Tampa area, and you know, it's kind of considered, you know, as far as Sarasota, to be almost a part of Tampa and
not that
Clearwater. Yeah,
Right.
you know, I go out and go to the beaches. Where do I go? It's either Clearwater or Siesta Key, Sarasota.
Well, the funny thing
Down
about
that
that
way.
is the fact that you have such a variety. Like there's so many places that you can choose to go, and you're not that far away from anything. And
Right.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about Tampa is you can go to anywhere, it's centralized here, and it's not that far of a drive. You know, and there's so many things to try.
Yeah.
I mean, and there is a difference between, let's say, Siesta Key to Clearwater Beach, but they all have their own
Right.
beauty to it.
Yeah.
They're completely different, you know. And that's one thing that I've enjoyed not being from here was the fact that you can go to one beach and it's completely different than another beach, and
Right.
and in good ways.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's so interesting, the different pockets and
Right.
you know, the types of people that they attract. I noticed personally in Largo, there's a ton of Greek restaurants and Italian
Oh, Tarpon Springs
places.
too.
Yeah. And it's just wow, it's so you don't know it's there until you go.
Right.
You know?
Dunedin is a real interesting.
there's a really good donut place too
area.
in the Largo area. It's called Jupiter Donuts.
I've been there before. That place is good.
Yeah, they have really good donuts, and my art department introduced to that, and they probably added calories to me because I know
Yeah.
about it now. But they're really good donuts. I
Yeah.
would recommend going and trying Jupiter Donuts as a place it's
Okay.
unique. They have their own experience. I know they might have places where you can get them, but it's nice to go there and get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went there once and I got a breakfast sandwich. It was really good.
Yeah.
So
highly recommend.
okay, Jupiter Donuts. Okay.
Jupiter.
Have you ever been?
Are they fresh made?
Yeah, I've never had one that wasn't. Now I think they have them there's certain areas where they'll distribute them, maybe a gas station. But once you go to they have some exotic ones. I'll say they have fruity pebbles on top of them, and I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
those. But there's nothing better than a traditional glazed donut to me.
Yeah.
So it's
Aw.
That's why I like Krispy
Old
Kreme.
school.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that,
similar
you
to
know,
Krispy
Krispy
Kreme.
Kreme. I'll
Yeah.
only go to Krispy Kreme if they got the light on.
Oh,
and it
really?
says they're fresh, they're cooking now. You know, and now I can't buy them in the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like breaking the law when you do, because it's it doesn't
Yeah.
taste as good. You have to have the experience of going to one to get one.
Oh,
Right.
gosh,
And with a coffee
so
and a
funny.
donut, it doesn't get any better.
Oh,
I probably
my
should have been a cop.
Yeah. Shout out to our
You'd have
police
made a
force.
great cop.
Yeah. My daughter loves donuts too.
Oh
It's
my
we're
gosh.
probably terrible influences on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's 3 and she's already donut. Yeah.
Aw, so cute. Also, Jean, and I know you're from New York. What is your impression of the Tampa and the surrounding areas when you come down
I love
here?
it. I love coming down here. They have so many different things here to do than in New York. It actually gets a little boring up there in the wintertime. I'm sure in Chicago it did too, because
Right.
winter and the snow you really can't do too much. But down here, there's always seems to be something to do, and it's nice.
Yeah.
We call it cabin fever.
Yes,
Yeah.
cabin
Oh.
fever.
You're
Yeah.
inside. It's
Yeah.
-30 out. You don't want
Yeah.
to leave your house, and you're like.
So do you miss that?
I don't. I miss fall.
Yeah, fall's beautiful.
I don't miss
Oh.
winter though.
No.
And there's just something about fall and the leaves changing, and then that crisp morning with maybe the 60-degree afternoon where you
Yeah.
go and you have I miss some of my wardrobe, I guess, like flannels. Like somebody wearing a flannel down here, it's like you're wearing a flannel.
Sweating, yeah.
You're sweating, yeah. You might be able to wear it first thing in the morning, but by the afternoon here, it's too warm. But,
Right.
yeah. So like, there's certain things that you miss, but like the overall experience of like living here is like sunny 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You can go outside.
Did you have a hard time adjusting to, always living up there, and now you come down here and
It is an adjustment. I think the hardest adjustment is the fact that when you first move here, you think it's vacation.
yeah, exactly.
It's like everything's like it's like you have no reason. I moved here in the middle of winter, so I was like January was my first time like living here, and it was cooler, but it was still nice out. But I left snow. So when I moved here in January 3 years ago, it was like kind of feels like vacation because it's like you see the palm trees, you see the beach. It makes you feel like it's more of a laid-back environment, So I think that's one thing that living in a like an environment like Florida, Tampa area is like you move here and it's like if you're from the north or someplace that doesn't have that experience, like before you feel like it's home, you feel like it's on vacation. Which is, I think is a great feeling.
Hey, like that's pretty much how I got here. I came on vacation. I pretty much never left.
Yeah.
I mean, I went home and got my crap, and then I came back. I was like,
it's definitely like a different experience. Like, I mean, living up in like a Chicagoland area where like I think the wintertime is more like everybody is like they go out and come back in real quick because it's cold, and like if you had you don't want to do things sometimes because it's cold. And I guess similar here when it's really hot in the summertime where you're like, oh, it's really hot outside. But it never really holds you back from like doing something that you really want to do.
Right.
Yeah, like you've never had like hurricane different, but like overall like you never get held back from maybe going out and doing something because you're like, I just don't want to get in my car. It's too cold out,
No, you're actually encouraged to go enjoy a beach or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like it's just a different not like a lot better atmosphere, I would say. Yeah.
I think it's a happier area too. You're always happy when you're down here. It's just
so awesome. Oh my goodness.
It's
It's so
easier.
fun to hear that stuff from an outsider perspective.
People are all from different areas too. You have a lot of people that move down here, and you get to hear about like you're a Yankees fan, I'm a Cubs fan. You get Boston fans here, and it's like you have an experience where everybody can like kind of like camaraderie around their own team. But like I'm Rays fans now because I enjoy the product they put on the field. I think they have a great coach, and it's like I really enjoy watching what they have on the field. So I consider myself a Cubs fan, but like why can't I root for the Rays?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was last night. I was rooting for him because I mean, obviously, I want the Yankees to play here so I could have an opportunity to go to a game. But now I'm not really, unless I want to fly back to New York. But I was really pulling for Tampa, and so even at the same time, I mean, my Giants were playing, and let's not go there, but the Giants were playing, Syracuse was playing. It was a disaster all the way around last night in sports. But that's why I wore the Yankee shirt today because ALCS starts tomorrow.
That's
7:30. Go Yankees! Beat Houston. But sorry for the Rays. Lightning won last night, so you have that.
Go Lightning.
To kind of fall back on.
Team.
I will say one thing about Lightning fans that they are rabid. They're
Which is the weirdest thing.
It's like you think when you move to Florida, like hockey, and then you get here and you're like, well, they support that team, and you know why they should, because they do put a good product on the ice.
It's crazy. It's crazy that their fan base is so behind. I would say more so than the Bucks and the Rays, a hockey team.
Yeah.
I've gone to a watch party
In
before. We were
Tampa,
just
Florida.
it was in the Main Street area of Lakewood Ranch, which is Sarasota area, that they actually had an outdoor watch party, and the amount of kids and families that were out there watching, it was like, I think they really do a good job of promoting, because that was all thrown on by the Lightning, and they set it up there for they had the big screen outside, and they had like a miniature hockey rink out there, so kids could out and play. They just do a phenomenal job of promoting their product, and when you get kids involved.
Sarasota area. Wow.
Well, in Ellington where I live, they actually have a big ice rink.
Oh, they do. You're right.
So they do a lot of hockey there. Like that place is busy.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you been to the one in Wesley Chapel?
No, I want to go
Or the
though.
Taste of New Tampa? That gets busy.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
they have
gosh.
a bar restaurant in there too. That's like
Oh wow.
a 5-star rating on
Wow.
Yelp.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll have to go there.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
pretty neat.
Huh.
They got a lot going on
We'll
there.
make sure to give them both shout outs. That's really cool. Well, we've got a lot of budding hockey players, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Figure skaters.
It's crazy though, just to really, I think living in Tampa and living in the surrounding area, I think there's just so much to offer. Whether you got sports teams, whether you have things to go and see, like going to the beach, but like, you know, the aquariums, the Clearwater's got an awesome aquarium that I've been to, that my daughter went to and was just head over heels over. Like she just fell in love because you can get interactive with the fish.
Right.
And
Oh,
like,
you can. Oh, cool.
like the touch tanks and everything that you do.
You can put your hand in there or something?
I think maybe not the Clearwater one, but I know the one and I know the one, my sister's been to the one here over in
Channelside.
But I also been to the Moat Aquarium in Sarasota, and you can touch the fishes
You
there.
can?
Yeah, they have a really nice interactive environment for the kids.
You touch it like they got like a stingray pool or something.
They have a stingray pool. Lowry Park Zoo's got a nice stingray pool too.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So,
Okay.
and my daughter, even when we went to the Rays game, we took my daughter. She got to do the tank there as well.
I forgot, yeah.
So, I mean, that's just. I mean, she loves animals, so that's a cool thing to go see. So.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Aw, oh my
So
gosh.
I just think there's so much to do for families, but then there's a lot of adult activities too.
Yeah, there is. There's so much to do. Well, it's interesting to hear both of your perspectives from being, you know, out of town or newer.
I feel like I still got to learn, so that's why I'm like
there's so
channeling
much
you
to
guys.
learn.
Like,
Hey, that's what we're
tell me
trying
where to
to
go
do.
eat.
Yeah.
Tell me where to go eat. I need a good
There's a
place to
lot
go
of places. I mean, it depends. Babysitter or not babysitter. Jen will tell you where to go. All the
Yeah,
family
we
stuff.
were talking about that earlier. Yeah, Double Mint.
Yeah, gotta get shout out to our Double Mint girls.
That was my first podcast I listened to that
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Now
They
you
were
know,
fun.
You know,
They are. They're very
you got
fun.
somebody
Yeah.
to watch the kids.
I was sold. I was looking them up online as I was watching. I'm like, do they come to Ellington?
They're all over Florida,
Yeah,
right?
I
They're all over
They're
the place.
An
So
awesome duo. So
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, going on the restaurants and stuff, I know you mentioned we'd like to shout out to restaurants or any stores or anything we tried this week. Have you been anywhere new this week, Rob, or anything you can think of?
I actually brought my mother to Burger Culture yesterday.
Oh, you don't want to know what he had.
Yeah, well, if you don't know, like Burger Culture is it's a food truck, and I just got some insider info from the guy there and the girl that yesterday. They're
Really?
opening a new location on 7th in Ybor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they're telling me
Ooh.
about that. But I had they have a lot of interesting burgers there. let's
Really?
say.
Yeah, I saw you got like I'll let you say it.
And what I get?
Yeah.
Like a peanut butter burger or something?
Yeah, it's called the Goober Burger.
Goober.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
it is peanut butter with a fried sunny side up.
I love it already.
Yeah, and the only thing I should have got the
Oh my.
bacon with it because it could have used that saltiness a little more. Because
Was it good?
The
He ate it all.
Yeah, I ate the whole thing. I mean, it was
He was
good.
going to eat it no matter
I
what.
know it would have been a lot better with the bacon though,
Yeah.
just because it would have added that saltiness. The
Yeah.
peanut butter was a little overpowering. You didn't really
Was
taste
it?
the egg, because of the peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
But
Okay.
I think the bacon would have reined it in a little with the salt,
Salty.
But
Funny.
yeah, it was good. It got some other interesting. I was trying to get her to get like
What did
this.
you
They
get?
got
I had a
avocado.
steak sandwich.
They got like an avocado burger.
Do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, an avocado burger. That sounds good.
Yeah, they got avocado burgers. They got like all kind. You got to
The
check them
blue,
out.
the black and blue burger.
A
that
black and
sounded
blue
pretty
burger.
good.
The one
Yeah.
that like they have that has like the ham layer with the beef, and then like you ever-
They got one that's actually called a triple pig. I think it's called, and it has like pulled pork, prosciutto, and like a regular ham, I think, on it. But they have like a lot of different. Yeah, it's almost like taking a Cuban sandwich and putting a burger, giant burger patty
Oh,
on
that
there.
sounds pretty good.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. They got some like special grilled cheeses and some
I could
quarter
go for
pound
that.
hot dogs.
Oh my god.
something better than a good hot
But it's
dog.
right at the Harley dealer
Okay.
on Dale Maybury,
Oh,
right in the
where that
parking
is.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a nice little outside area set up.
Oh, can you sit over
It's
there
a food
too?
truck, but it doesn't move. It just stays.
It's like a stationary.
Yeah, it stays
Yeah,
there.
you
It
can
used
sit
to
and
move.
stuff.
You can sit
Yeah,
there.
they got
have
picnic tables set up. Hey, they got dartboards set up. They got cornhole. You can
It's
do.
an experience.
Yeah,
basketball.
it's a whole outside thing.
Yeah,
a little basketball thing for the kids.
And little squirrels that come up and beg you for food.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, the squirrels come
Squirrels
right
gotta
over
eat
there. Over there.
They literally sit there and beg. They sit up on their
Whoa.
hind legs and they beg until you give them something.
So yeah. Anyway, I want to do before we go
Go
into
ahead.
the other stuff. I wanted to, because you're from Chicago, I wanted to test your. This is kind of a new thing we haven't done
new. I
before.
like
Yeah.
I love being tested too.
Test your knowledge of your teams, the Cubs and the Bears.
Okay.
The two obvious. And by the way, you're welcome about Chapman getting you a championship
Correct.
a few years ago.
We
and
traded away some nice players for that.
yeah,
but
this,
we got
this year it's going to help us win the championship. and
Correct.
Chapman
I hope
wins the
so.
championship.
Like the one thing that I know the biggest concern is when we won the World Series that year was that Chapman, we wore out his arm. We
Yeah,
gave
I
him
know.
back to the Yankees.
The Yankees were like, "What the hell are you doing?" They're
Yeah,
like-
we kept on using him over and over and
Yeah.
over again. And Joe Madden was like, "Well, you haven't won a World Series in 102 years. Like, it was like you just go out there and you pitch when you have to pitch." And he definitely helped us win the World Series. It was definitely a big addition when the Yankees gave us Chapman. So
And
we
you
gave him a
guys-
lot to get him. But
Yeah.
when you're sitting, when you're starving after 102 years fan base and have a World Series, it was well worth it to me.
It was worth it because that's the ultimate goal is to win a World Series.
Exactly.
So you gotta
and you only
do what
get
you
so
have
many
to do.
chances in your lifetime. Some teams, not like the Patriots, who win every year, it seems like, it takes a while to win a championship. But, the Cubs obviously went so long. Like, we became the lovable losers is a nickname because our fan base got so used to losing and they loved them so much that that was our nickname. And it was like, it was, all right, you're Cubs fans, but you love a losing team. Like, yeah, I do love a losing team. But, like, I grew up, my grandma watched WGN TV, which was a big thing back then, and every Cubs game was on TV.
Yeah.
And I remember going to her house, and I would sit on the floor and watch Cubs games with her. And that's how I became a Cubs fan. It was like just because my grandma was.
Well,
such
it is it's a storied franchise.
Yeah.
And one that never really had a championship until
She lived to
a
be
few years
98,
ago.
never saw a World Series.
Right.
Oh, that's
Or
so
championship.
sad.
Yeah. So yeah, they I don't know who the heck's complaining about them giving up.
It's people that are fans that you get one, you get the taste, and then they realize that we made the playoffs not this year but the years before that we never got over that hump. And it's like people are like, oh, if we didn't get rid of this, we would have that. And you're like, well, if we didn't have him, we never would have won the first one. So,
Right.
yeah, it's always looking back in
Right.
perspective. You're like, well, it's easier to look back and say that maybe, but nobody knows that's really what happened.
Yeah, and you didn't know these guys like Gleyber Torres was a rookie, unknown at the time. You didn't know he was going to turn out to be, he's a monster with the
All-star,
Yankees. Yeah, he's awesome. But
Let's hear these quiz questions here.
Yeah, I'm ready.
How you do?
all right, here we go. We'll start out easy. I'm going to give you 5 Cubs ones, and then we'll do like 5 Bears ones. And
Okay.
we're kind of doing it together, so I have to have your answer to put it in to see if we're right.
Okay.
So, in what year were the Chicago Cubs established as a National League team?
Ooh, what's
So it's 1900, 1880, 1905, or 1876?
I think it's 1880.
1880.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Okay.
1876.
Yep.
I was going to say
Yeah.
1876 is the correct answer.
Wow.
I wasn't born.
You're
quite
not a
that.
historian.
No, yeah.
historian. You're a fan, not a historian. All right. How about this? Wrigley Field wasn't always called Wrigley's Field. What was its name when the Cubs first started playing there in 1916? Your options, if you don't know it already.
Oh, I need the options on this one.
Okay.
I know what it is, but you say it.
And yeah, you can use a lifeline if you need to.
Oh.
My phone's over there.
Waveland Stadium,
No.
Northside Field,
No.
Wiegum Park, and Cubs Park.
Oh, I think it's Wiggum Park.
Wiggum, is that how you say
Yeah.
it? Go with 2. You are correct, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bingo, 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 bingo. You got it. It was named Cubs Park from 1920 to 1926, though, and then it was named
If
Wrigley
you want to know,
Field. So it's
the
been
Bears
named,
actually played in Wrigley Field at one point before they had Soldier Field too.
What's Wiegum? Do you know what is
I
that?
don't know
like
what
the
it's based
Chicago
off,
thing,
but Wrigley is actually the Wrigley chewing gum
right?
family.
Which
So
I
yeah,
figured Wrigley.
Oh, funny.
they do not own the team anymore, but the name of the field still stays Wrigley Field.
I wonder if they still give them like Wrigley's, like they all got fresh breath.
Yeah.
all the baseball
the big
players.
thing that people in Chicago are a lot of mad is they actually were thinking about taking the corporate name and changing Wrigley Field to another name, and a lot of people were upset about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
yeah,
can
that's
imagine.
history.
It's like also like the fact that if you've ever been to Chicago, there's a Sears Tower, but it's not called the Sears Tower anymore.
Oh, it's not.
No,
it's
I
got
remember
another
Sears
name,
Tower.
because Sears used to
own it.
Yeah.
Or
And
something?
now it's another name, and gosh, I can't remember the name of it now, but
Yeah.
it's no longer named the Sears Tower. But anybody from Chicago will still call it that.
Yeah, still really is.
Okay, next, moving on here. We got, what is the most amount of games the Cubs have won in a single season? So you got 110,
Okay.
112,
Okay.
116, and 118. They don't give you much.
I think it's 118.
Is it really?
118, 116.
That's a lot of games.
It is. It's a long time ago, though.
Nope, you were a little wishful thinking. Well, you only missed it by 2. It was 116, but it was a very long time ago. 1906.
Wow.
And they lost the World Series to,
The White Sox, I believe.
yes, Chicago White Sox.
So I didn't know that.
God. What the hell was the rest of the country doing that year?
There was only 2 baseball
Everything
teams
was
in the
happening.
world that year. There wasn't as many
Chicago.
teams, I can tell you that right now.
Oh
So.
my gosh. Wow, yeah, that's a long
But
time
yeah,
ago.
both of them were in
Well,
Chicago.
Yankees and Mets have played in the World Series before.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
True. But, that's New York. How about this? Which Cubs player hit the most home runs in a single season? Do you need help?
Sammy Sosa.
Okay, Sammy Sosa is one of the options. Derek Lee, Roger Hornsby, and Hack Wilson.
No, it's Sammy Sosa.
Sammy
He was
Sosa.
going against Mark McGuire in
I
that
remember
duel
that.
back then when McGuire got 70.
Yep. McGuire got
Oh my
70,
gosh,
and
how
he hit
crazy.
66.
But then Barry
Sammy
Bonds
Sosa.
took that one after a few years later, I believe. He got to 72, I believe, or something.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it was 72. Yeah, they beat the record. All right. This one, okay. How many World Series titles have the Chicago Cubs won?
Well, one World Series that I know about, obviously, but before then it was
Your lifetime,
102 years before that. I think they have at least 3 world champions.
3 is your answer. I'm locking it in.
What's the guesstimates on there?
2, 3, 4, or 6?
I think it's 3.
Yes.
Oh, yay.
You are correct.
Got it.
1, 2.
I was only
3.
live for one of them, though. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, that's not bad. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. What is
Yeah, that's
that?
pretty good.
60%.
There were some tough questions
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do the Bears. Which one are you a bigger fan of, or is it the same? Like,
I
are
would
you
say
more of a
I probably
football-
know more about the Bears, but I'm as big as fan of both. But I probably know more
Okay.
because the history in football is a lot
Right.
younger than it is. Obviously, it hasn't been around as long as baseball.
And you don't have to follow as many games, obviously.
Correct. Yep.
For a year. So we'll start with this one. I don't have much choice because it's one at a time. But last season, Tariq Cohen became the first NFL player to produce touchdowns via run, pass, reception, and punt return since which individual? Terry Metcalf, Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, or Michael Vick?
I'm gonna say Terry Metcalf.
Terry Metcalf. That's probably a good, solid choice. Bingo, you're right. It is Terry Metcalf. A lot of people guessed Gale Sayers on that one. Last season, Mitchell Trubisky set Bears rookie passing records with 196 completions. This has got to be an old question.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now. Yeah.
This is an older question. But anyway, record with 196 completions and 2,193 yards. Whose marks did he eclipse in both categories? So these are all Bears
Sid Luckman.
quarterbacks. So it's Grossman, Jim McMahon, Cade McCown, or Kyle Orton. See, I don't think it was Kyle Orton because, I mean, just knowing football, he didn't
It wasn't Rex
start at
Grossman.
the
I don't
Bears.
believe either. I'll go with Jim McMahon.
I think that's a good choice. No, it was Kyle Orton. but-
Oh, dun dun dun.
It was one of those trick questions.
That was.
Kyle Orton did
Got
come into
both
play
of you there.
as a rookie. I just didn't feel like he got that many games in. But that was.
Oh, he was a rookie
He
at
got-
the time?
He came in the same time as Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman got injured. So.
Yeah, I know Kyle Orton. He came from Denver, right?
No, he went to
Trade?
Denver from Chicago. He was drafted by the Bears. He came out of Purdue.
Okay, I got that backwards. All right, so your knowledge, you redeem yourself there. All right, new Bears receiver Allen Robinson. Again, this is from last year. Teamed with which Chicago player for one season with the Jacksonville Jaguars? Prince of Mukamura, Chase Daniel, Akeem Hicks, or Cody Parkey?
I don't believe Cody Parkey kicked for Jacksonville, but Prince of Mukamura was a New York Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Akeem Hicks, I think he's always been a Bear before a Patriot. I'm going to go with Cody.
Cody Parkey.
Yeah.
No, it was Prince of Mukamura. I know he did.
I thought he was always a Giant.
Yeah, I thought he went from the Giants straight to
The Bears
Chicago.
Too. I would never guess that. He must have been one season because he wasn't where he's primarily from.
It says he teamed with cornerback Prince of Mukamura with the Jaguars in 2016. These are all new questions. I don't know why there's no older questions, but I guess it's going back to some. New Bears tight end Trey Burton threw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl that was copied from a play the Bears ran. Which quarterback caught the TD pass for the Bears? Was it Matt Barkley, Jay Cutler, David Fales, or Brian Hoyer?
Gosh. I'm going to guess it was, I have to say, Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer? No, it was Matt Barkley.
Oh, wow. I never would have known
Wow.
that. Wow, you're throwing some tough ones out here.
Yeah.
I could have told you who threw it to Philadelphia.
Yeah, right. That's what they call it. The inspiration for the Philly
was Nick
special.
Foles.
Yeah,
They
came from a
stumped
play
you.
the Bears ran in the 2016 season finale against the Vikings.
They
which
definitely were winning that season.
Quarterback Matt Barkley caught a 2-yard touchdown pass from Cameron Meredith. Oh, that was your receiver that year, right?
Yeah.
Wide
He
receiver.
went to New Orleans after that year.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Which new Bears player caught the final pass of Peyton Manning's NFL career? Wow, that's a good one. Trey Burton, Benny Fowler, Taylor Gabriel, or Allen Robinson? Which Bears player caught the final pass
Well,
of
it
Peyton
was
Manning's
Fowler
NFL career?
because he played for Denver.
It had to be Benny Fowler.
Yeah.
huh?
That was
Bingo! You
I knew
got
he played
it.
for Denver.
You finished strong.
Yeah. Gosh.
Those are tough questions, but yeah,
Ah,
you got them. You did well.
interesting.
You did good enough.
Oh my gosh. I like the challenge.
Just sweating over here now.
You didn't
Glad
know
I
you were
didn't get
coming
shocked
for
from
this.
it. Yeah.
Thought you were coming
right?
to talk about your
Next
company.
time, if there's next time, I'll have to prepare myself.
Of course.
Yeah.
You gotta brush up on your sports, apparently.
Bring out my true
Yep.
pursuit
I
of
like
Bears
it.
or something like that.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking
Aw.
for. Trivia pursuit on Bears.
That's cool. Oh my gosh.
I bet you. What do you think? My brother would have. My brother might
he
probably
could
would have
answer
nailed.
all of them.
Yeah. My brother's like
He's
super
a big Bears fan.
into.
Big Bears.
He couldn't
Funny
answer.
thing about it is I used to consider myself a really, really knowledgeable about sports, and then you have kids.
Yeah.
I've completely lost.
Yeah.
Like I can luckily keep track of what I did today, let alone remember what
Right.
the Bears did.
Yeah.
So
it all
these,
goes
if
up
these
and
questions were like historical,
Probably back in,
you
like-
probably would have been a lot.
If you would give me from the 80s to like the early 2000s, I probably would have known a lot of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, because like after, I'm not saying I haven't had kids now for 3 years, but like it just things in life change.
Right.
Your interests in life all of a sudden
Yeah.
aren't as. I'm like I love the Bears, but like you just don't have
Yeah,
the
you
same.
don't have the time
You have to work.
Yeah, you have to work and deal with kids. It's a lot. So.
Okay, in Brian's song, this is one I'm just making up.
Yeah.
You know Brian's
Yeah. It's
song.
about
Who is his roommate?
who's Gail Sayers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bingo.
I don't know what any of this means. Is that a football team or is that a
That's a
softball
true
song?
story.
It's a true
It's a movie
story.
they made.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have
Can't
to
remember
watch
the actor that played him,
Brian's
but
song.
it was.
yeah.
You're gonna laugh at me now. It was the dad from Elf movie.
Oh,
He played
know
the
what
character,
that
and I can't think of his name right now, but he's been in a lot of movies.
Oh, I
obviously.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, very famous actor.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So funny.
I can see his face. And I
Yeah,
can't
you'd,
think
you'd,
Yeah,
you'd
same
like
here.
it, Jen.
Oh my god. Well, I'll have to watch that. Maybe I'll convince my husband this weekend.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get a
he'll-
box of tissues.
He might know.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll
yeah,
you'll
he probably
cry.
It's a
seen it
sad
before.
song.
Yeah, it's a very
It's
sad
It's
story.
sad,
It's about
yeah.
Brian Piccolo.
Yeah.
He passed, but
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
I think we have a
was
park in
James-
South
James
Florida.
James
for
Caan,
him.
there you go.
Oh. I think there's a
Andy
Brian
Williams.
Piccolo. Is that here in Tampa? If not, then it's in South Florida somewhere.
The what?
Brian Piccolo Park.
Is there a Brian
It
Piccolo
must
Park
be
here?
in South Florida then, maybe.
What?
I'm not sure,
Maybe.
but
I've heard that
if he
before.
was from Florida, possibly at one point they could name a park after him because he was
Yeah.
it was a famous story. Yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna check this out this weekend. Huh. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much again for being
Thanks
here
for having me.
today,
I had
Scott.
a blast, and
Yeah.
I'm glad to talk about PrimeNet. And, you know, if
Yeah.
anybody wants to come and check us out, obviously PrimeNet.com.
Okay.
My information is skohler@PrimeNet.com is my email address.
Okay.
And then, you know, calling me, obviously, you can call PrimeNet, and then you get the number and then transfer to me. So.
Okay, perfect. Well, we'll make sure to put that in
And then-
the video and everything. Go ahead.
Oh, if you want me to, we've been on social media, Twitter,
Okay.
you know, Instagram. You can find us all over the social media as
Cool.
well. So.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely link to all that
And
so
then-
people can
Yep.
get a hold of you. For
Absolutely, yeah. I'd like to help people out. Like I said, target marketing, direct mail. It's a really good platform to expose yourself. It works still, and want to be able to help people increase their business.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Return on
awesome.
investment is the huge word, ROI.
Yeah, that's good, and you can see it firsthand,
Right.
you know, from the amount of mailers going out, and you know, probably how it advances in their success.
All forms of marketing are great, and we're just one of those avenues that you can choose. And I highly recommend, obviously, using it because we, like I said, we do about 5 million pieces a month. And
Yeah.
if you look at your mailbox, if Amazon sends out mailers, everybody's doing mailers.
Right.
So we get stuff at work from Amazon Business. I mean,
Yeah.
so
If Amazon's doing it, you better do it too.
yeah, there's a reason why they do it, because it works. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Well, and
Amazon knows.
thank you to Jean for
Oh,
being here.
you're welcome. I had
Special
fun.
surprise guest. I love it.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here.
Surprise
so
me,
nice
and
to
now
meet
surprise
you.
the podcast.
Yeah, surprise podcast. Oh, I love it. Oh, you have anything else you want to talk about today before we wrap up here? Or?
No, I'm just curious. Do you have any interesting hobbies or tricks that you can do, or
No
anything?
tricks. I'm not a magician. I like to golf. I'm a huge golfer. When I get the chance to golf, not as much as I used to, but
Right, yeah.
it's nice
Kids.
to be able to do it. Other than that, though, no, I really enjoy just being outside and doing activities. I'm big into working around my yard. I
Yeah.
kind of still like
Florida
that.
living right there.
Yeah, it is. It's nice that you can do it now. Summer is hot, but yeah, overall, that's my kids. That's a huge hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're in the right place. you know,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
to enjoy all that. So golf, especially.
Yeah,
Lots of golf here.
it's tough to get out and do it like I used to, but it's definitely Florida. You have a riches of golf courses
Yes,
to choose
we
from.
got lots of golf courses here. Well, so if anyone's listening that is interested in moving to Florida after hearing all these great things, you've got 2 realtors here.
Tampa's
Rob and
a great
I are both-
location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tampa's a great melting pot and very affordable.
Yeah.
So,
Affordable. It's a
yeah.
great place to live because you can get to anywhere from here and it's really quick.
Right.
That's one thing that drew me to Tampa, obviously because I work here, but not realizing how long it took to get from one destination. If you want to go to Orlando, it's an hour and a half away. We went all the way to St. Augustine and it took us a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different coast, and
Right.
on the experience of seeing St. Augustine and Tampa, you can do it all in one day.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Aww.
Yeah. Have you been to a Gasparilla yet?
I haven't been one.
Oh.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, get your double mint sitting count set up,
Yeah, there
and
you
next
go.
year,
I,
you can bring the kids one, but
Yeah.
we're working on the Bucks game this year. Me and the wife are gonna do the Bucks. We've already done the Rays. I haven't got a chance to do the Lightning yet, so
Aw,
there's
there's
3.
your next one.
We have some things lined up that we really wanted to do, and like I said, babysitters, double mint,
Yeah,
come
double mint
Darlington.
girls, come on over. we're like a walking
Please.
advertisement for
Yeah.
them.
I'm sure
I
they'll
love
hook
it.
you up. I'm sure
Yeah.
they got somebody. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you.
being here.
It's a lot of fun.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess we're off to probably Rob's favorite spot, do a meat cheese.
Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday. I love it. All right, guys. Oh, and tonight I will be heading out to Little Italy with my husband. We actually did a bonus episode with them the other day, so keep an eye out for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Video and podcast. It's
It's coming.
exciting stuff. Yeah.
It's
So
coming.
thank you all so much again. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.